Welcome all of you once again to your own storytelling platform, Bol Dada Bol. Namaskar, my name is Nilanjan Datta. The historical significance and impact of the Kolkata Derby. The biggest ever match in club football in India, one of the oldest derby matches all over the world. Mohun Bagan versus East Bengal, or East Bengal versus Mohun Bagan, as you may put it. Some days back, an old friend, a journalist from Hungary, pinged me on WhatsApp asking for some information about the Kolkata Derby, a bit more of a background than what he could find on the net. That's when we realized that we need to speak, because unless you speak, nothing happens. And we need to speak and put in some information for footballing fraternity and sporting fraternity all over the world about the Kolkata Derby. And this is not just sports, it's society in general, totally linked with the sociological aspect. Obviously, like any other derby, this one has a very rich background, a very rich history where all emotions and passion is totally involved. All over the world, Boca Juniors versus River Plate, the Milan Derby, Inter Milan versus AC Milan, the El Clasico Real Madrid versus Barcelona, Celtic versus Rangers, not many others. We cannot be naming each and every one, time would be running out. Mohun Bagan versus East Bengal, or East Bengal versus Mohun Bagan in our country. Football is perhaps the only sport in the world which has a direct connection with the society. The race, the origin, the culture leads to an identification of the community with a club. That's why club football all over the world is extremely popular, and the popularity will stay forever. Mohun Bagan and East Bengal are likewise. Mohun Bagan represents the community who are the original inhabitants of West Bengal. They are called Ghotis, 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 originally staying in West Bengal, or original inhabitants of Bengal. Mohun Bagan. East Bengal, as the name suggests, from the eastern part of Bengal. The partition of Bengal happened in 1905, and it led to many from the Bengali community to be crossing over. There was no international border at that time. Bangladesh wasn't formed, neither was East Pakistan. But they moved over to the western part. Some through the borders of Tripura, some through the borders of Assam, some through the borders of West Bengal. There were no international borders, but from different places they came over to Bengal. Some even moved as far as Delhi to set up Chitto Park or Chittaranjan Park. The trend continued. Two communities in India, this is a different topic altogether, have bore the brunt of partition, the Punjabis and the Bengalis. Anyway, different story, maybe on a different day. So this community, or these people who moved over from the eastern part into West Bengal are called Bangals, Bangals. And they identify themselves with East Bengal. That's the traditional rivalry. In the society of today, there's no fighting, but the friendly banter stays, and especially it reaches its peak when the two clubs are supposed to meet or play. They have their own symbols. Mohun Bagan, or the Ghotis, prefer the lobster or the chingri march. East Bengal and the Bangals are synonymous with the Hilsa, the Ilish march. It doesn't mean to say that Mohun Bagan fans do not like the Hilsa, and vice versa, the East Bengal fans do not like the Chingri. But that's the symbol. So after the match ends, the team which wins, that price of that fish has escalated like anything. So those are the two symbols, the Chingri versus Ilish, the two traditional colors, Shobuj Merun, Bonam Lal Hulud, which is the green and maroons for Mohun Bagan versus the red and yellow for East Bengal. In this match, no one is a neutral. Forget a Bengali. All over the country, whoever is a sports loving person who kind of understands or keeps a tab of the sporting events. They know that they ought to take a side. Any Bengali from Bhutan to Brazil can never be neutral in this match. Invariably, when two Bengalis meet for the first time, when the conversation starts, the second or the third question of the line is Mohun Bagan na East Bengal, means do you support Mohun Bagan or do you support East Bengal? What's special about this derby? The build up to the derby. Kolkata is a place where the local media is extremely rich, especially the sports media. Even in this era of digital media and social media, newspapers rule roost, and especially the regional Bengali newspapers. Huge readership, huge. They are kind of celebrities, the reporters out there. And what does invariably happens is, it's a generic trend. Some 15 days or 20 days or maybe at times even 1 month prior to the kickoff of the derby, two correspondents are deputed, one who's a kind of a Bagan sympathizer, known Bagan sympathizer, to cover the Mohun Bagan camp, get stories from there, and the other who's a known East Bengal supporter sent to the East Bengal side to get stories from there. As the match approaches, the third one is involved, who looks after the mood, who writes the mood copy, speaking to celebrities, former players, organizers, because in the society no one is neutral on that day. We need to remember. And I've been lucky enough to be a part of that media tribune, which we call the press box at the VYBK, the Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Kridangan. Even the media on that day is totally divided. They are not neutral at all. The hands go up whenever the favorite team attacks or scores, they shout, the banter goes on, but it ends there. This match, no one can ever be a neutral. The history of the two clubs say that Mohun Bagan was founded August 15, 1889. I have it in front of me because I forget dates. And East Bengal founded on August 1st, 1920. So August, both the clubs were founded. The first derby happened on May 28th, 28 May 28, 1925, a match which East Bengal won. I'm mentioning that because that was the first derby. After that, both teams have won many a derby and obviously continue to do so. We were speaking about the race, the origin, the ethnicity, the community, the identification, and all of that, the raw passion and the emotions that are involved with it. On that day, the day of the derby, the city comes to a standstill. The city of joy just comes to a standstill. The main road leading to the stadium, VYBK, the EM bypass, which we call the Eastern Metropolitan Bypass. It's advisable, and traffic advisory comes in if the match kicks off at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., 6-7 hours prior to the match, do not go there. It's choco blocked. The color in the build up to the derby on that day is unthinkable. It's unthinkable. Vibrant colors of the two teams, fans on top of lorries, coming in buses, coming in cars, walking with the chants, autos draped with the club flags, club colors, because as I mention again, no one is a neutral. You know what? In a recent marketing trend, or recent marketing trends rather, say that you need to involve the females as part of the audience. Because unless you have that sizable part of the populace with you, the popularity of the sport will not grow. Cricket is the biggest example, the best example in fact. The entire society is involved with cricket. Kolkata Derby, the women folk has been involved in it organically. Since when? I don't know. Ever since I born, I have seen my mom, my elder sister, my younger sister, my bhabi, my bua, my mosi, everyone, my grandmothers, everyone keeping a tab of what's happening. Nowadays, during those days, it was radio commentary. Nowadays, the women folk, if they're not able to sit in front of the television on the day of the derby, because they have other responsibilities in the household, they work a bit more than the husbands and the males at home, the homemakers that they are. Great big salute to all of them. They keep a tab of each and every thing that's happening. They are abreasted with each and every story. Who's nursing an injury prior to the match? Which coach has said what? What's the banter going on? Which celebrity has supported which team? Each and every one they are aware. That's the appeal of the Kolkata Derby. And if you are an Indian football fan and you haven't watched a Kolkata Derby at all till now, don't call yourself an Indian football fan. I understand the passion is unparalleled in many a state, the club passion. I endorse that passion. But the Kolkata Derby is not the cream on the cake. It's the cherry on the cream. That's there. Because unless you have watched it, life is still incomplete. Nowadays, there's a huge, great initiative which has been taken up by the Blue Pilgrims, where football pilgrims move from one state to the other, traveling footballing pilgrims, one state to the other. They kind of stay in homes and residences of other pilgrims who are in that city itself. Make an effort, move out, and don't just come on the day of the Derby. If you come on the day of the Derby, you'll be missing the entire action and the build-up. Minimum 5 to 6 days in advance, come over on a football pilgrimage to Kolkata. And then you will understand what this is all about. How it's built up. Have a roam around in the two clubs, the two club tents. It's Mohun Bagan super giant nowadays. In the two club tents. Speak to people. Soak in the atmosphere. Because Kolkata and Bengal knows how to rise to the occasion. And you won't get disappointed. Some things obviously do need to change. The fan experience has stayed the same. From the same time, my dad took me to the first derby when I was a kid. Fans still struggle. What are the amenities for the basic common footballing fan? From both the clubs who's going out there. He's either bunking office, school, not staying at home, going on to support there with so much of hope. Only for Mohun Bagan, Super Giant or East Bengal, or Mohun Bagan or East Bengal. What are we giving them? Distribution of tickets, allocation of tickets, there's a big question mark still. Whichever match it comes. Why can't it be told in advance, announced in advance? Okay, it's impossible to be giving out 2 lakh, 3 lakh tickets as per the demand of each and every one. Tell people 30,000 tickets to be allocated, 15 to both the clubs. 40,000 to be allocated, 20 to each and of the club. This is the schedule which is there, and you need to be there, first come, first serve, or kind of, what do you say? Best is to avoid the rush and ask them to book online. Whatever it is, we can come to a conclusion out there. The frisking and the security measures are very much required for such a high voltage clash. I totally support it. But it should not be coming at the cost of the fan getting an entry into the match maybe after 5-10 minutes of the kickoff of the match. Why? He's missing the action. If the clubs have survived this long, it's not because of the officials. I even go to the extent of saying it's not because of even the players, though there are players whom we salute, legendary players. It's because of the two communities, the Ghotis and the Bangals and the Ghotis, Mohun Bagan and East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. What are we giving the fans? Because unless we give it to the fans, they won't go back with a rich experience, and that will be a first time storytelling that okay, this time I've got something new. The Kolkata Derby in a nutshell, the Kolkata Derby in a nutshell, no one is neutral on that day. Keep following us on Bol Dada Bol platform. Do spread the word and do speak, because unless you speak, nothing will happen. Bol Dada Bol.